At the start of the fight, Sivara will coat half the raid with a toxic brand and the other half with a frost mark. Get on either side of the boss depending on your debuff to ensure that you don't get near players with the opposite debuff. Random players will get overflowing chill or overflowing venom depending on your debuff. Players on your side should stack with you as you drop it off on the edge of the room since the initial damage is split. This will leave behind a puddle to not stand in. The boss will cast crushing reverberation on the current tank. This damage is split on that tank, so people need to make sure to stack on the tank with their corresponding debuff to help split the damage. The other tank mechanic is Rime Frost or Septic Tank depending on the tank's debuff. You'll be hit with the same damage type that your debuff is. Taunt off at around 4 to 6 stacks, since when the debuff falls off, it leaves behind a puddle that sizes depending on how many stacks you have. She'll summon a barrage of frost and poison bolts around her. Dodge these as best as you can, especially dodging the ones that are opposite to your debuff type. This will be the best point to use healing cooldowns. Now the boss will cast frost shock bolts on random players. It'll either be frost or toxic, and she'll cast one at the player that is opposite to their debuff. Anyone with the same debuff type as that javelin should intercept it to avoid that player causing raid-wide damage. The player who intercepted it will be nailed to the ground by the javelin, so someone needs to click it off. Sivara will cast Inversion, which will switch a third of the raid's debuff to the other type. Spread before this and it'll root you for 4 seconds, unless you can get out of it somehow. Just be aware to move to your correct side if your debuff does switch. Also, taking damage of the opposite type will trigger Unstable Mixture, which deals moderate raid-wide damage, but resets your stacks of Toxic Brand, which reduces healing received, and Frost Brand, which reduces movement speed. Just be aware of this and plan your strategy accordingly. On Heroic, Frost players will get a blue Frozen Blood bar, and Poison players will get a green Venomous Blood bar. If you're Frost, you need to keep moving at all times so it doesn't fill up, and if you're Poison, then you need to stand still as much as possible so that bar doesn't fill up.